Hey, Mike with Mike's Bags. Today I'm reviewing the Freak X by Ultra Cornhole. And if you've been following along, you know my last review was the Freak by Ultra. And in that review, in the very beginning, I gave Ultra kudos and props for coming out with a new name for that bag and not just picking an existing name and putting a random letter on the end of it. Well, now I got to get back on my soapbox because I hate the name Freak X. Prior to this release, the X was one of the few letters Ultra had that was consistent. You know, the Widow X, the Psycho X, both had that same linen slow side material on them. But now you come with the Freak X, and this is a herringbone carpet slow side. It just leads confusion to what does the X mean? Why put the X on here if it doesn't refer to anything? And I wish Ultra was more consistent with the lettering. Anyway, back off soapbox, let's go ahead and dive into this review, which is what you're here for. And we'll start out with the slow side of Freak X. And as I mentioned, it's that herringbone carpet. It's the herringbone carpet we all know and love. It's the same you find on the BG Wizard. It's the same that you find on the B3 Fatal, the Buffalo Followed X and Savior, the Sure Shot Mutant, the Ninja Street, X-Level Counterpunch, the Southwest Capo. I could go on and on. There are a ton of bags that use this herringbone material, and for good reason. It's a very player-friendly material. It's a very controllable material. It's a very versatile material. I call it a 5-speed. Again, if you watch my reviews, you know it's a material that you can manipulate. Right, brand new, it's going to play close to a 6. If you keep it clean and shave the fuzzies off, it'll stay kind of 5.5, 6 speed. If you get it dirty, you rough it up, it's going to slow down to a 4, 4.5. Normal conditions, I'm gonna say normal bags. I call it a 5-speed because it kind of falls right in the middle. So 5-speed on the slow side. Fast side, this is that same fast side material that Ultra uses on the Freak. I don't know of any other bag companies that actually have a bag release that uses material. I think it's a newer material as far as the cornhole world goes. It's a very soft material. I love the way it feels. You know, these are two very soft materials. Gives the bag a really great feel in the hand as far as the materials being softer. It is a material that does start to show wear quicker than most other fast side materials. And I'm not saying the material's wearing, and I'm not saying it's not durable. I don't know about the durability yet, but it does fuzz up quickly. It starts to look a little more ragged than what you expect. It plays quick, brand new, but once it starts to fuzz up, it starts to wear down and break in. I think it settles about that 8-speed. I'm gonna call it an 8-speed on the fast side. You got about a 5, 8-speed bag here. Template-wise, this is that large template Ultra uses. Ultra has one of the larger templates out there, so it's a larger template bag. It's kind of a medium amount of fill in there, so you do have some flop. It is not full, but it is not overly floppy. Typically on larger bags, you get a floppy bag, but Ultra has a decent amount of fill in here to keep the bag from being too floppy. So if you don't like floppy bags, but you like a large template bag, you might want to check out this Freak X here. The fill in here it's a mixed fill. I think it's the same filter uses in most of their bags. It's a small fill, which means in the hand you have more of a fluid feel to it. But I will say, when I'm talking about hand feel, for me, I did find that for some reason, whatever reason, when I went to grab, I do a butterfly grip. Whenever I go to grab the bag, it always left a gap in there. Like it just never, like the fill compressed, but it didn't fill up and come around. So I had to really shake the bag to get it to fill up and get rid of that gap in there. So every time I would grab it, it would be loose here. Like there's just looseness, and it just, the fill didn't want to expand out. And typically when I grab a bag, like I can take this X-Level Counterpunch, has that same herringbone carpet on there, and I grab it and butterfly that, you immediately see it fills up. I don't have to shake it. It's already full and expanded up. And that's because the fill doesn't compress. When I squeeze down, it pushes the fill around. That's kind of what I want. When I get a butterfly grip, I never got a comfortable feel of the bag in my hand. That's me, and this is my grip and the way I do it. You might grip it differently, so that may not be an issue. Now, in my experience, I have found that when fill compresses like that, the fill, it seems to want to settle. It's not very active, which means you lose some of the hole friendliness. And that is something that this herringbone material struggles with, is it's not that hole friendly, right? This material tends to want to hang on the hole, and you get a fill that just kind of compresses and settles. You lose that drippiness. You lose the fill wanting to continue to move and cascade in. So bags would get up there, and if they stopped, they just sat there. And not hard to collect. I was able to collect them, but they would just sit there, where I felt like other bags that had more of an active fill would drip in. Now, on the other side of that is you have a more forgiving bag on the landing, because you do have a less active fill, and you've got some flop here. If you don't throw the flattest of bags, this material is not going to kick as hard as it would on a more active fill bag or a fuller fill bag would, which is one of the knocks of material as well, besides not being a hole friendly, is it does have a kick to it. Ultra's taking that kick out. So Ultra is a bag where you have to go down one way or the other. Do I want a bag that's hole friendly? I want a bag that's more forgiving on the landing, and they chose the landing side of it, which is fine. Just be aware that, when you get that, you've got to be a little more accurate when your throws, because if you're missing off to the side, you're going to have to either be more accurate or be willing to go after bags to collect them and bring them in. These bags are ACL stamped for 2024. They have Pro stamp on them. Let's go ahead and jump into playability. I've already talked about some of that, but let's go ahead and kind of officially get into playability here. And it's a very versatile bag. This herringbone material is one of my favorite materials. I love it because of the versatility. So you can get up there. If you just want to run bags in the hole, you can do that with this material. You can go bag for bag, outscore your opponent. You just, like I said, you have to be careful because you will have some bags hanging. So if you're a little inconsistent with your landing, and that's one thing I found with this bag is the landing zone wasn't that wide. I talk about, you know, how that big rectangle that you have to land the bag in the hole. Larger, floppier bags tend to have wider landing zones. This is a larger bag. It doesn't have as much flop. And because of the material and the fill, I just felt like the landing zone wasn't that big. So I had to be more accurate with my landing to put the bag in the hole. And when I missed my landing, it would go up and that corner would kind of dip in and grab. If I had enough speed, it would grab, spin around, and come back in. I had no problem. But sometimes it would just grip and grab and stay there, and then I had to go after the bag. Now, this material does have shot shaping capabilities to it, so you can cut, you can roll, you can flop with it. However, this is not, because it's not a very active fill, it's not the easiest, so you got to be kind of above average to advanced level shot shaping player. If you can roll a bag, roll any bag. If you can cut a bag, you can cut any bag. It's just a matter of how well it responds and how easy it is. This is not a great bag if you're kind of a beginner or learning how to do shape shots. It's not the best for you. But, I said I was able to cut this bag. It just wasn't making those harsh cuts that I typically get with a more active fill, especially with this herringbone carpet on there. Now, you can also throw blockers with this. Because you have the control, you can put your blockers on the board and place them where you want. The bags are collectible. They're full enough. You can come down and collect the bag. I didn't have a problem collecting bags. I was able to, even if I put a bag a little further over than I wanted to, I was able to come across and collect them. I will say it's not the best bag at pushing on the fast side. So if I'm trying to push through, I really don't want to push more than one bag. If there are two bags there, it's tough to push because this fast side just doesn't have the oomph behind it to really push and take. You just have to be aware when you're throwing this, trying to collect. If you're trying to collect or push through multiple bags, you've got to throw harder. If there's one bag, no problem. You can push and play. So as a bag, I wanted to throw a blocker up there, 2 cuts, and then clean up in the middle or whatever. Like I didn't want to put multiple. I just want to put one block up there. Maybe I would go in, third bag, block, or whatever. You just have to be careful your strategy about how you're playing this bag if you want to play a little dirty. It's not a great bag for playing an all dirty game, but if you're playing a dirty round here or there, or like I said, playing a dirty, third bag blocker here or there, something like that, you can definitely get away with this on this bag. Now, overall thoughts, this is a good bag. Like, so don't hear me wrong. This is a good bag. If you're an Ultra fan, you're probably going to like this bag. A lot of you have been waiting for Ultra to come out with a herringbone carpet style bag. My issue with it is there are a lot of bags, and I mean a lot of bags that have this herringbone carpet. It is one of the more popular materials out right now, and there are a lot of great bags. So the bar is high for this type of bag, and this bag is good, but it's not great. Like there's nothing about this bag that I say, okay, this bag does this better than any of these other bags. It just kind of does everything okay. And so when I'm thinking about when would I use this bag over a different herringbone carpet bag, I don't know I would. And this is my personal opinion, but I don't know if this is a bag that I would ever want to put in my backpack. Say this is the situation, I want to throw this over anything else. So for me, it's a decent bag. It's not a bag that I would go out seeking. And if I went to a blind draw and you pull this out, I may try to convince you to throw one of the other bags I have that I feel is better. But if you're insistent on this, I would have no problem throwing it. Like I had success with it, and I can make do with it. Again, it's just a bag I never feel comfortable with in my hand, and I just feel like it doesn't fit my style of game. So maybe it's going to fit your style of game better. And if it does, I'd love to hear your opinion. So make sure you drop a comment down below if you love it, if you hate it, if you agree with me, if you disagree, whatever. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. I always appreciate hearing you guys' opinions on that. But leaves me an availability on this. So if you're looking to get a set, ultracornhole.com, that's the website you go to. Link down in the description for you. The bags are normally $125, which is another part of my issue. That's on the higher price of bag range. Now, Ultra does put out lower prices. When they release bags, I think they released them initially at $95. These, as of this recording I looked at, they were $99 for a set. Then shipping and taxes and all, it's like another $18 tacked onto that. So, you're at $99, looking at like $117 shipped to you for a set of bags right now, but at some point the prices may creep up. If you get to the full price of $125, I would say wait. But even at that $117 price shipped to you, it's a tough pill to swallow because I can buy, in my mind, a better herringbone carpet bag for under $100. There are a lot of them under $100 that I can get. It just makes it tough for me to say, go get this. I would say if you're interested in buying the Freak X, before you go drop the money on it, try to find somebody who has one you can borrow, blind draw, league, whatever. Try to throw one just to make sure you like it, make sure it fits your style of play before you spend the money on it. Again, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments down below, and I thank you so much for your support, and I thank you for watching.